What's up everyone, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel, and for today's video we are going to talk about Super Bowl Sunday as a South African in the US, because we recently had a Super Bowl and I don't know, thought it would be fun to kind of talk about what that looks like as somebody who didn't grow up with them. So yeah, before we get into the video though, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if there are any videos that you would like to see from me, and also don't forget to turn on those post notifications so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So a little backstory: I grew up in South Africa, and the extent of the Super Bowl coverage, I guess, that we got was that people went to a stadium, they watched a football game, and there was this big halftime show. And they always talked about, you know, who was performing at the halftime show, how that went, everything like that. But that was pretty much all I knew when it came to the Super Bowl. And I think the only thing that was kind of similar to it, you know, there was this big event that we had, was the rugby. I think that's kind of what we did. It's obviously a different scale and different things, but that's basically the thing I can kind of say, oh, that was our, you know, Super Bowl type thing. But yeah, so that was all I knew. And so I moved here, and I remember because I moved here in September. I've been here for 7 years. It'll be 7 years this September. So I moved here, and obviously there was a Super Bowl in February, and I didn't really hear anything about it. I don't remember hearing much about the Super Bowl, and I wasn't in South Africa where they did a lot of coverage about the halftime show, and obviously I'm sure they do it here as well. I just didn't, for some reason I missed it that year. I didn't hear anything about it. I don't know if it was because I was kind of in my own world doing my own thing, which is probably what happened. But I didn't hear anything about it. And then the next year I was living with Anna, and if for those of you who have watched my channel for a while, you know who Anna is. And so I remember that on the day I'd gone to a friend's house because she was throwing this soiree type thing. I don't remember what it was exactly, but we had a bunch of people that were there, and we all went to her house. And then there were a group of people who were like, oh, you know, we're gonna split, we're gonna go home because the Super Bowl is starting, so we're gonna watch the Super Bowl. And I think that was the first time that I realized people had watch parties for the Super Bowl. I probably should have figured, because like I said, we have similar events in South Africa where they do watch parties and stuff, but I had grown up on the other side of the world, so I didn't know. And so they go to their Super Bowl parties, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go home. I went home. Anna was at home. She had snacks and food and stuff, and she's like, we're gonna watch the Super Bowl. And I guess she had figured that I knew it was happening, which I didn't. I'd found out on the day. But she had said, you know, we're gonna watch the Super Bowl, and she told me I should watch it with her. And she also she was really excited to see the halftime show because it was J-Lo and Shakira at the time, and she wanted to see that. So we ended up watching the Super Bowl, and that was the first time I'd actually watched the game. I did see the halftime show, obviously, and I tried to watch a little bit of the game before the halftime show and a little bit of the game after, but I didn't understand what was going on, and I obviously didn't know any of the teams. I didn't know anything about anything, and so it was really confusing, and it was not my scene, and so I left after the halftime show. But we did have snacks, and it was really good. And like I said, that was the first time that I kind of realized that people had parties, and it was this big deal. And I think it's really cool. People go all out, and I love me some food and fun, so I'm not complaining. But then we never really, I think a couple years later, my mother was here, and I told her, you know, we should watch the Super Bowl. This was, I think, 2 years ago. So there were years in between where I just didn't watch it. And then 2 years ago, I told her, randomly, I was like, we should watch the Super Bowl, because I don't know, I was just like, maybe I'll try again and see if I know what's happening this time around. And I think it's interesting because kind of like, you know, there are some people who watch all the games of the season and then they watch the Super Bowl, and then there are some people who kind of just watch the Super Bowl because it's this big event. And so I like that. I like that there's different groups of people, and I think that's really cool. So it's interesting because, so we watched the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. It was just us and a friend of my mother's had came over, and we had wings and we had ribs and we had snacks, you know, and we watched it. And I remember watching the full game then. I don't remember much of it. I do remember watching it though. And so I'd actually stayed for at least most of the game. I don't think I watched the full game, but I stayed for most of the game. I saw the end. So that was kind of, you know, that was the first time I'd actually watched a lot of it. And then last year we went to our first official Super Bowl party, which was, it was at a friend's house, and it was massive. They had snacks, they had all kinds of food. There was a bunch of different people who, like I said, some people had been watching the entire season and they knew all the players, they knew how the game worked, they knew everything. I was getting like a briefing from this one guy. It was really cool. And some people who were like me just watched the game. Like, we just came, you know, that was the first thing that we were watching. And then there were some people who were just like, we're just here for the halftime show. And a lot of people actually went home after the halftime show, which was really interesting. And so that was fun. It was really nice, and it came at a really nice time, because if you've seen a couple of videos back, I talked about how we had suffered a tragedy right around a year ago, and it happened to fall a couple, like, just around the time that the Super Bowl was happening. And so it was really nice to just go out and have a party and have fun and be with people. So that was fun. And then this year we started our own party. We did our own thing, and it was so fun. It was really fun. We did our first official party where it was just the two of us, but we did our first thing where we actually put, you know, planned, this is what we're gonna eat, this is what we're gonna do. We got the snacks, we got ribs, and we got wings, and we actually made a plan of, okay, we're gonna watch the Super Bowl. And we watched the whole game through, and we watched the halftime, and it was a really intense game. I think this was the first time that I actually sat and watched a game and was really, like, it was very fascinating. Do I understand everything that was happening? No, but I enjoyed myself. It was a really intense game, and, or at least for me. It might not have been for people who watch it all the time, I don't know, but for me it was really intense. And like I said, it was the first time that I had watched it fully. So that's basically a rundown on the evolution of Super Bowl Sunday for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe we'll go to another party, maybe we will watch it ourselves, I don't know. But it's really nice because I think now we've kind of got a rhythm where we do, you know, snacks, and we do food, and we just kind of have fun. It was really cold, so we were in our PJs and just chilling and under the blankets, but we definitely watched it, and it's definitely a fun thing to do. It's fun. And now that we found our rhythm, like I said, I'm pretty sure we're gonna watch it again next year. So yeah, that's kind of how I like, I don't know. And like I said, it was the first game that I watched, because last year, I don't think I mentioned it, I wasn't really paying attention to the game. I was more paying attention to talking to the people that were watching the game, and yeah. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I'm really sorry that this is really rambly. I hope that you guys enjoyed it nonetheless, and let me know if you have similar experiences with something that was kind of not really a tradition where you grew up and then you moved elsewhere and it, you know, you embrace new things, kind of like this, where, you know, like I said, the Super Bowl, obviously not a big thing in South Africa, but it is here, and it was kind of cool to evolve with that and kind of see, you know, how the different stages of me watching the Super Bowl. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and yeah, have a great weekend. Also, happy Valentine's Day. Bye!